I've been refining what I like to call my signature glam, and it's only right that I would share with you all. In today's video, I'll be sharing step by step how I was able to achieve this look, and trust me, if I can do it, then you can do it too. I honestly feel like the best time to do your makeup is by practicing at home, especially when you don't have anywhere to go. So go ahead and pick up your brushes and let's get glam together. I almost forget that I have oily skin when I start my makeup off with the Danessa water powder serum. What I love about this the most is that it gives my face such a nice smooth canvas, and honestly kind of like dries up my skin a little bit. Not in the way where it feels stripped, but more so where it just feels very matte, very smooth, and very primed to start doing my makeup. Laminating my brows is something that I just got into doing this year, and it truly makes such a difference. I like to use a product from Milk Makeup, but I'm actually pretty sure they discontinued it. So Milk, please restock on that, because this was the first thing that was actually working for me. And right now I actually fill in my eyebrows with an eyeliner, but it's a dark brown eyeliner. Color correcting is something that's new to me, but honestly, now that I've started incorporating it into my routine, I'm not sure why I wasn't doing this before, because it really does make a huge difference, especially in my problem areas, such as around my mouth or under my eyes. Now, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation is truly my favorite. I had to re-up on it and got 2 bottles during the Ulta Savings event, but y'all, just look at how good the coverage of this is. Now that we're in the fall, this is definitely my go-to full coverage foundation. Like, it just does such a great job, and I feel that I'm kind of more on the neutral cool side during the fall and winter, so my shade in 6W1 works perfectly. I love going in with this Milk Cream bronzer, and y'all, when I tell you, I learned this tip from Uche Natori, and really putting it in the crease of my eye, or corner of my eye rather. I do think I put it kind of a little bit closer than usual to my actual under eye where I'd place my concealer. But one thing about makeup that I've learned is that we can always fix it, okay? Just because you may have blended in something one way doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to go over with it. And I love actually using a foundation brush to go ahead and blend in my cream products. Previously, I was doing this with more of like a buffing brush, but I just wasn't having the same amount of coverage. And you can honestly see here just how good this foundation brush works in place. So one thing I'll always preach is that you don't have to use tools or even products for their like intended use. You truly can just do what works for you and see that it's like, wow, like, okay, this is great. Let me do it for next time too. For my liquid blush, I love using this one from Rare Beauty. It's this nice peachy toned shade. And when I tell you that the coverage is just so good, and another hack that I've been using is using this brush that's actually meant for powder blushes to go ahead and blend out my liquid blush. I feel like it just gives so much more of like a seamless finish, and honestly, like, just look at it, guys, like it blends in flawlessly. And speaking of blending in flawlessly, this is actually a new buffing brush that I went ahead and picked up from Real Techniques, which I really like so far. Something else that I like is the Born This Way concealer from Too Faced. I feel like this gets so much hate, I don't know why, but it doesn't crease on me. And then I also love using the NARS creamy concealer as well to go ahead and conceal my upper eyebrow as well as my eyelids. Ever since I started putting this product on my eyelids, I feel like it just makes my eyes pop. And even when I don't fill in with an eyeshadow after, it truly just gives such a flawless finish and makes my eyes just look so much more alive. I like to blend out the upper eye concealer using a brush before then going in with a setting spray. And at this point in time, this setting spray is more of a refresh setting spray, more of a hydrating setting spray, especially since the products have been sitting for a while. I just want to go ahead and rehydrate. And this especially works well before going in with powders, because trust me, y'all, I go in with a lot of powder, but you're gonna see that it all comes together. For the longest time, I used to blend out my concealer really using a brush, but once I switched over to a sponge, I feel like it just gives that more like melted in skin look, which I absolutely adore on me. To blend out any harsh lines, this is when I go in with that foundation brush, and I feel like this does such a good job at not picking up too much of the product while actually being able to blend seamlessly, and then I go ahead with the buffing brush. Now this Sephora Micro Smooth powder is definitely the holy grail product of my makeup. I think that ever since I started using this to first basically set anywhere that I concealed or even just any high points of my face, This definitely has just helped with oil control. This has helped with just the lasting power of the concealer. And it definitely helps me to get that airbrushed look before I'm even done really setting. I've been wanting a more peachy toned blush for the fall, and I picked up this one from Juvia's Place, which I've been obsessed with. This is actually the Volume 2 blush palette. And as you can see, there's 2 shades in there, where one is more of an orangey shade, the other is a brighter pink, but I feel like once blended together, they just pair together so perfectly. And here I'm going back in with the Sephora Micro Smooth powder to really just help my under eye pop again, and y'all can see how much of a difference that made in just helping it all come together. Now, a step that I'll never forget is going in with my powder bronzer. I love putting this on the arch of my eyebrows as well as on my nose. I need a better brush for putting it on the sides of my face, because truly on the days where I'm able to, it makes a bigger difference in just the dimension of my face. And I felt like playing in some eyeshadow today, and I've really been loving going for a pop of color where it's really like a nice light tannish, nudish sort of vibe that we have going on. So very simple, but still very elevated. And again, you can instantly see how much this color has made my eye just pop. I truly feel that going in with concealer as well as the Micro Smooth powder to set the base of my eyelid has made all the difference in my eyeshadow application. Using the same liner that I used for my brows, I go in and tight line my under eyes. Now y'all, let me tell you, I am still getting used to eyeliner, so bear with me, but I did just pick up a liquid eyeliner recently that we'll be trying out soon. Now, I am a mascara girly down, but I love going in with my lash booster from Lancome to help first elongate the lashes. And then I'm going in here with a mascara from Milk Makeup. And by the way, every product that I use, I have linked down in the description below. To play off the cool tones, I went in with a cool lip combo for today. Now, lip combos are something that I'm still experimenting with, because when I told you that this took a turn for the worse before it got better, because I realized that I'm like, hold on, like, this is a little bit too cool, so I decided to bring in more of a kind of lighter pink, but then I still realized that I'm like, okay, I maybe want it to be a little bit more peachy, and then I brought in a different tones pink, and I feel like it brought it all together at the end. Before my final setting spray, I'll make sure to go ahead and blend out everywhere, just making sure it's smooth and seamless, and then we're done, okay? We gotta be dramatic with the fan, of course, but y'all, this is the final look, and it's safe to say I'm obsessed. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. What I hope that you were able to take away the most is just how fun it can be to express yourself through your makeup and learning what suits your face, and honestly, not being afraid to try different things. Because even in today's glam, there's certain steps that it's like I just did the other day when I did my makeup that I didn't do today, but then I was able to see like, what would happen if I didn't do that step? And then I ended up loving today's glam. And I think that's honestly what I love the most about makeup, just being able to literally just do what I want in the moment, what I'm feeling, what I want to work on enhancing that specific day. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out today's video here. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe, tap the bell icon to turn on your post notifications. And thank you so much again for tuning in, and I will see you back for my next video.